Nobody's able to see them. Trump tests the limits of his ignorance, believes stealth technology makes planes invisible to the naked eye. The wondrous world of stealth technology, where now you see it, now you don't, takes on an entirely new dimension, particularly in the eyes of former President Donald Trump. Is it magic? Optical illusions? No, it's simply the presidential misunderstanding of complex military tech, and we're here for it. From radar evasion to invisible aircraft, let's paint a picture. It's a typical day in the Oval Office, and the Juventus Soccer Club is visiting. Amidst the soccer balls and camaraderie, Trump decides to field a few questions from reporters. And right there, he takes the spotlight, boasting about military advancements. The subject, stealth technology, a marvel of engineering that essentially blinds radar systems, making planes less detectable. But the plot thickens. During his discourse, Trump somehow equates this technological marvel with invisibility. He really sold it, remarking about these invisible marvels with the enthusiasm of a kid talking about superheroes. "You can't see it," he exclaimed about the F-35 fighter jet. But is the F-35 really Harry Potter's cloak in shiny metallic form? Alas, not in the slightest. The reality of stealth allow me to inject a touch of reality into this bizarre narrative. Stealth technology doesn't cloak planes from the human eye. Sorry to deflate those Hogwarts-level illusions. What it does, though, is reduce an aircraft's ability to be detected by radar systems. It's all about careful design, sharp angles, heat signature reduction, electronic warfare capabilities, ensuring the enemy is left scratching their heads, trying to figure out just where that noise is coming from. Dramatic interpretations. Trump's vision of military strategy seems somewhat lifted from a James Bond movie, luring foes into submission with the sheer mystique of apparently invisible jets. But unfortunately, this sensational notion doesn't quite align with real-world operations. Stealth aircraft, like the F-35, are sophisticated masterpieces built to evade radar detection, not to play peekaboo with human soldiers. Even as his narrative spiraled into the realm of fantasy, Trump's infatuation with these stealth wonders seemed unbroken. His enthusiastic claims during visits and speeches don't just spark laughter. They illuminate a fundamental gap between concept and comprehension, perception vs. reality. A lesson. The takeaway here isn't merely about the former president's confusion between visible and invisible. It's a broader snapshot of the motifs that often run amok in political narratives. Stealth, by design, is meant to be elusive, which sadly doesn't mean the same thing as being unseen to human eyes. That slight misunderstanding fosters misinformation among an audience who look to their leaders to know what's real. But let's not dwell too hard. Life's too short and full of amusement to get mired down in facts devoid of fantasy, right? So let's embrace the spirit of his storytelling, a testament to the creative liberties taken when facts meet flair. In conclusion, stealth technology, contrary to some fantastical interpretations, remains rooted in scientific principles focused on radar detection rather than optical invisibility. Our stealth fighters are not airborne phantoms, but tactical assets operating within the laws of physics and engineering. As for opinions, hold them tight. They're not coming back for debate. I am also happy to announce that Jimmy Kimmel returns. A resilient voice triumphs amidst MAGA pressure in an America where voices are often subdued. Jimmy Kimmel's return to the television screen marks not just the revival of a show, but a stand against the ever-looming shadows of censorship. Suspended for 6 brief yet turbulent days, Kimmel stirred the pot by doing what he does best, speaking truths wrapped in humor that cut to the quick. His crime? Critiquing the twisted narratives spun by conservative groups following the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. In his monologue, Kimmel dared to highlight the attempts by the MAGA gang to falsely distance themselves from Kirk's killer. Inquirer.com. Such moves to manipulate and mislead only serve to strengthen divisive lines in a nation yearning for truth and unity. Yet, let's reflect. When did our society become so fragile that comedians can upset the scales with a single jest? allies quickly rallied to Kimmel's defense. The entertainment industry, often the canary in our socio-political coal mine, stood firmly behind him. Over 430 celebrities and activists signed an open letter defending Kimmel's intrinsic right to speak his mind, illustrating a collective refusal to allow censorship to snuff out creative expression. As viewers, fans, and free thinkers, we are left to ponder. What does this suspension say about our values? Are we truly ready to trade laughter and satire for silence in the face of controversy? Kimmel's return is a bold reminder that freedom of speech is not just a delight, but a necessity, a cornerstone of our democracy that must be protected, even when the words might sting those who would rather shield their eyes from the glare of scrutiny. In a nation yearning for truth amidst a cacophony of half-truths and hyperbole, Kimmel's comeback isn't merely about restoring a TV schedule. It's about reaffirming the power of responsible, fearless discourse. Let us not forget that commentary, even wrapped in jest, is a mirror to our society. May Kimmel continue to reflect what's needed: integrity wrapped in humor, truth clothed in wit. I don't come back to debate against what I've just written, because I do not need permission to have my opinion from MAGA. And last, but not least, Elena Kagan's warning. Save democracy from autocracy. In an era where the balance of power teeters on a tightrope, Supreme Court Justice Elena Kagan's recent warning should echo in the halls of justice and reverberate across our nation. Her concern over the court's decision to bolster presidential authority at Congress's expense is a clarion call to those who value democracy's delicate scales. The decision, allowing former President Donald Trump to dismiss Federal Trade Commission, FTC, member Rebecca Slaughter, is more than a mere staffing change. It's a signal flare in the dark, pointing to a future where independent agencies might bend under the weight of presidential whims. Justice Kagan's dissent rings loud, as she warns against the erosion of regulatory bodies' integrity and impartiality, cautioning that this path could lead us to a governance dictated more by allegiance than expertise. Kagan, supported by Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson, articulates a vision where the judiciary stands firm against executive overreach. This ruling is not just a ripple in a pond, but a tide threatening to drown the independence these agencies have held since the 1935 Humphreys Executor v. United States decision. As the court toys with the notion of overturning this landmark ruling, we are nudged further down a path where governance becomes increasingly centralized. There's a stark reality we must face. A democracy only thrives when its checks and balances are respected. When Kagan cautions us about the potential politicization of regulatory bodies, it's not a mere academic concern. It's a battle cry to preserve the very structures designed to shield these institutions from political tide changes. In these times, it's crucial to engage in reflection and conversation about the future we desire. Do we want a landscape where political favoritism eclipses regulatory necessity? Or do we stand with Kagan to advocate for agencies free from the constrictions of political influence, keeping expertise and integrity at the forefront? This moment is a reflection of who we are, and more importantly, who we aspire to be. Kagan's insights call us to action, to uphold the core tenets of democratic ideals. Her formidable dissent demands we consider: who holds the reins of power, and how will that shape the world we pass to future generations? Reflect on these questions, for a democracy shaded by autocratic tendencies is a democracy at risk. Justice Kagan's warning isn't just a statement, it's a plea for vigilance, a commitment to the foundational structures that sustain our shared governance. I don't come back to debate against what I've just written, because I do not need permission to have my opinion from MAGA. Copyright 2025 Independent Writer, Crowning Thoughts Truth Speaker, AI Video Content Creator Writer Blogger Santiago DC. Maria. All rights reserved.